Hey Lisa, how you doing? Thanks so much for including your work. Don't forget the assignment asks for a kind of a detailed written experience with the assignment. So you definitely want to include that written requirement in here. You might want to repost there just so we meet those requirements. Okay, let's go ahead and take a work. I've got your AI file up. I think it's a good start. There's a few things, areas of concern here. Now, the main thing is the layout itself. I think the background image is interesting with that silhouette. That's going to be fun to work with. A couple of things though we have that I think can be improved. So right now you've just got this big kind of headline and this other big headline, and then this kind of subtext right here. So there's really no order or structure in the text at all. The text also has a black stroke around it. You don't want to do that. And for reasons why, just take a look at the course announcements. Specifically, there's an announcement called Why I Shouldn't Stroke My Letter Forms. And those are right in the announcement. There's one about stroking and there's one about center alignment. Be sure you take a look at both of those. So my recommendation for the general structure of the ad is this, and again, go to the announcements and take a look at the examples of previous campaign ads. So what I would recommend is just make a headline, okay? Place a headline, subhead, paragraph of informational text, logo, contact information. Now, don't forget we need to include that masked image in here. Remember that masked image we created from assignment, or we developed from assignment 2-1? That image needs to be placed in here. So again, in summary, also, by the way, I'm just going to pull my tools palette in here, and I want you to see how thick that type looks right there. And let me show you why. If I select that type, you can see it's got a stroke. This is the fill color, this is the stroke color right here. If I bring that stroke color forward and I'm going to click this to take the color out of it, watch what happens here. See how that becomes much more clear? So you want to make sure that you're not stroking any of your letter forms. And to get rid of that, you would just, go ahead and do that. Okay, so again, in summary then, oh, by the way, also the logo looks like it's somewhat distorted if you compare it to the original from the style guide, and that typically happens on resizing. So once you place the logo, we resize it by this. We come and take this corner handle, but watch what happens. I can actually distort the heck out of this logo if I'm not careful. See how horrible that looks? I'm going to Command Z that, and I want to show you how to circumvent that. Before I drag it all, I'm just going to hold my Shift key down. And as you can see now, there's no way to distort that logo. So you want to make sure once you place it, don't resize it without holding that Shift key down. Okay, so again, in summary, we want to add a headline, an Arial bold, a subhead, an Arial bold italic, a paragraph of body informational body copy in a regular Arial. Then we want the logo right there without distortions, the contact information, and then don't forget to include that masked image from assignment 2-1. In the layers panel, we can see you've got an extra layer, layer 1. You can delete that. All your images are all in your image. Logo, text is all on the right layer. That's excellent. One more thing I want to check is your document color mode. You're set up in CMYK. That's fantastic. You have an 1/8 inch bleed. Outstanding. Wonderful proficiency in the setup. Good job. So just a few recommendations in the basic foundational setup and compositional setup in the magazine, and I think we're good to go. So let's go ahead and make those changes. I'd like to see those changes reflected in your final submission, which is coming up very quickly here the week after next. So let's go ahead and make those changes. If you want to show me this again, I'll be glad to make final comments, but you want to finalize the magazine ad as quickly as possible because you're going to be using the magazine ad as a basis for the banner ad. So in a perfect world, we have the magazine ad set and ready to roll, then we start on the banner ad. So again, at this point, it's just really super important to get with me if you have, sorry about that, if you get with me if you have any questions at all. All right, so good job, Lisa. And don't forget, we have a written requirement as well, so we want to get that in place. Thank you very much, Lisa. Again, really super important. Any questions at all, get with me quickly so we can address those and carry on. Great job. Thank you, Lisa.